Happy Monday. This is Lynn. It is weigh-in Monday, and it is actually my first weigh-in Monday for 2025 because my last weigh-in was December 30th of 2024, and then I've been in Arizona and did not take my scale with me, so I haven't weighed in. So this is I've actually just finished week 87 of the carnivore diet and went on this trip, was gone for 2 weeks, had no idea what was going on with my weight, but I have so many amazing non-scale victories from this trip, and it was just such a wonderful trip. Really enjoyed Arizona in the wintertime, I have to say, and was really enjoying the sunshine. And we went there for the Healing Humanity meetup on January 4th and just made a vacation out of it. So we had a really great time. So I had, like, from the very get-go, I had so many non-scale victories, starting with on the plane. I took a picture of the amount of seatbelt strap that I had, because I compared it with last time I flew. Last time I flew, I really didn't have any give as far as like pulling the seatbelt strap, and this time I had like maybe that much. So that was really exciting for me because, like, oh wow, like it actually is better now. I'm smaller and I can fit better in the seat. So that was really awesome. And I know every plane is probably a little different, and even from this with the same plane, they may have a little bit different seatbelts, but it was really nice to just start the trip with a non-scale victory. So that was awesome. The Healing Humanity meetup went really well now, and it's been recorded, and I don't know if Kerry has published it yet. He's publishing it he's making it available first on Healing Humanity Life membership site. But I was one of the speakers, and I was a little bit disappointed because I had to get a seat. Like, I got up there to speak and I had to get a seat because I could feel my orthostatic intolerance kicking in. But then I realized that I had actually been standing for like 40 minutes before then, and I'd been kind of directing the crowd a little bit because there was a line formed to say hi and to have pictures and stuff with Kerry, with Dr. Kiltz, with the different doctors. And so I was standing there in the theater, like past the entrance. So when you get into the theater, and trying to help people either find their seat or get into the line. So that was really big for me because it used to be that it would take me maybe 30 seconds, a minute to feel the blood rushing from my head with my orthostatic intolerance. As I got better, it was maybe 5 minutes. And so here I was, like 40 minutes. And I did lean against a wall. For some reason, when I lean against something, it creates kind of a grounding and I can stand longer. But then when I got to my time to give my presentation, there was nothing to lean on. And so I started speaking, and I was pretty soon after that. And it was also nerves too that set in because it was a big crowd. It was a theater full of people. And I could start to feel the head rush. And so I kind of put my hand up on the podium, and I thought, nah, I need to get a chair. And there was a whole line of chairs because we were having a Q&A. So there were these kind of stools that with backs, like high, like bar stool type chairs. And so I turned around, I grabbed one, and I sat down, and that was fine. And so I was kind of, like I said, I was kind of hoping that I wasn't going to have a chair. But just to be completely transparent, this is a work in process for me, and I'm making progress when it comes to the orthostatic intolerance. It's getting better, and the more I exercise, the better it gets. So I just want to look at this as being grateful that I was able to stand as long as I could. And I really like to be able to help out whenever I'm at Healing Humanity meetups. And it's good that I can actually help out ahead of time. And so anyways, it went really well. It was wonderful to meet so many people. I got to meet people who view my channel. I got to meet a bunch of new people that I'd never met before. And yeah, it's just awesome when a bunch of carnivores get together and we have such a nice time, and it's like a common bond, right? We're all doing this. Everyone else in the world kind of thinks we're crazy because we're eating this extreme diet, but it's been so healing for so many of us that it's so nice to finally be able to be around people who get it and we understand that we're not crazy. The healing is real. The effects of it are real. The lack of inflammation, the decrease in inflammation, the gut healing, everything is so real that, yeah, for once you kind of feel like you don't have to explain yourself, which is really good. Okay, so I wanted to go over some of my other non-scale victories that I experienced on the trip before I go into my scale results. So one of the things that was wonderful was I got to go horseback riding for the first time ever. And the reason why that's really good is because I didn't have to worry about the weight limit on the trip. So these, yeah, of course, they don't want you to break their poor horses. And so they do set a weight limit. And I was under the weight limit. So that was fantastic. And so I was able to go horseback riding for the first time. And as I'm sharing these victories, I'll try to put some pictures up and maybe some video or whatever, so that you can see what I had a chance to do. And Amy was there. Amy Haas, my co-author, was there. She took pictures, and as we were leaving and coming in, this was in the Sonoran Desert. And so it was like an hour, a horseback ride. I have an appreciation for people who ride horses because the butt does feel it. That is for sure. It is something you have to, I think, work up those calluses, because man, I'm glad I didn't go longer because my butt was feeling it. Dave, his butt was feeling it as well too. But our guide was really great, and we had a really nice time. And my horse's name was Raven, and she was a good girl. She did not do anything that she wasn't supposed to do other than try to eat some plants on the side of the trail. And but they were warned us ahead of time that our horse may try to do that, so just to kind of yank them back onto the trail. So I had to do that several times with her, but otherwise she was a good girl and took good care of me, and it was nice. I had a really good time. Next thing that we were able to do was to go on a 4-hour dune buggy trip, also out into the Sonoran Desert. This was the following day. I started out driving the dune buggy, had a great time, was able to keep up, and they had us completely garbed over, so they even gave us coats, like down coats. I brought mine, but they said, oh, you don't want to wear yours because it's going to get filthy. And so they gave us down coats to wear. Another non-scale victory. The largest size they had was an extra large. So if I had been bigger, I would not have been able to go because I would not have had a coat that would have fit me, at least none of their coats. I would have had to provide my own. So that was nice. The coat fit me great. I was able to zip it up without any problems. They gave us these do-rags that we could put over our face. We had helmets. We had these other things that go over our hair. We had the helmets. They provided gloves for us. It was cold. I mean, keep in mind, this is January in the desert, and it was a sunset tour. So most of our tour was during the day, but we ended in the dark. And it was like 25 miles total, I think. And some of the terrain was really rocky, and it was just fun. I peed in the desert. So, sorry, my nose is running. But their guide brought wipes. And so it's like, here I am in the middle of the desert, and my 56-year-old bladder kicks in, right? And I knew that was going to happen. So, yeah, went behind a rock and peed, which was no problem. Buried the wipes, and it was fine because it's all sandy, so it's really easy to dig a hole and bury it. But anyways, I'm sure that's TMI. Wasn't the first time I ended up peeing in the desert on this trip, so that was I'm sure for some of you, you're like, yeah, big deal. Who cares? We pee outside all the time, but I don't. I'm kind of a suburb girl. I have indoor facilities where I live, so that was a new experience for me. But at the kind of the peak of the trip, we were pretty high elevation, and then we hiked up this hill to get a nice view of everything. And literally, I had no problems hiking up this hill at all. Like, That's one of the things from this trip, is that hills didn't intimidate me. And in the past, they would have. But it was wonderful to be able to look at a hill and go, yeah, no problem. I got this. And I did. Wasn't out of breath, had no problem at all. So that was a huge, huge non-scale victory. And the views were really beautiful. It's a different kind of beauty in Arizona. It's not the same beauty that we have in Washington because it's brown and it's desert. But the sunsets in Arizona are incredible. Sometimes we have sunsets like that in Washington, but man, there was most evenings we had an amazing sunset in Arizona. So I know that the desert is known for their amazing sunsets. Okay, so let me see. Another thing that I got to do, which was fun. The very first night that we were there, we met up with Adam and Kerry, Ashley from Carnivore Brothers, Todd Bachnis from the Carnivore Cure. We had Amy, we had myself, my husband Dave, and we went to a really great restaurant, and we had prime rib, unbelievable prime rib. Our waitress was carnivore, which was awesome. So we were able to get nice, clean food, and there was a slide there. Now Kerry posted a video. Sorry, my nose is all running. It's cold here in Washington. But anyways, I'll post a video.
Here we go. Is that the brakes on?
He didn't post a video of him. He went down the slide too. In our membership site, he only posted the video of me. But it was funny because my shoes made a big old screeching sound when I came to the bottom. But it was really cool because it was something I never would have done before. There's no way I could have gone down a slide before. And so it was really fun just to do something and be playful, and something I feel like I'm reclaiming a lot of these things that I've missed out on my whole adult life. The fun and the playfulness that you can experience because you actually are functional, haven't been able to do that. So it's been wonderful to be able to experience that playfulness and to be able to enjoy myself and not be limited by my size or limited by my mast cell activation syndrome, worried that I'm going to have a reaction. No reactions at all. Absolutely did great. No problems at all. So the mast cell disease is under control. My weight is so much better, over 100 pounds lost, and I can function now, which is incredible. It's such a blessing. And so that was fun. We went to an escape room and won it. It was the highest level escape room. It was the hardest escape room. So it was myself, Dave, Kerry, Adam, and Amy, and we escaped. Yay! So that was good. We took Kerry to visit his childhood home. Unfortunately, people weren't there, but from the front yard, you could see this. They call it a mountain, but on Washington standards, it's a hill. But I guess it is a mountain, and it has a flat top. And Kerry had memories of his mom and him trying to I guess his mom had hiked it, but he didn't quite make it to the top because he got stepped in a cactus or something. He was talking about doing that. And of course, we're all going, well, why don't you just do it now? So we drove around to the other side of the highway, got to the base of this hill, and him and Adam and Dave hiked up it. And I think they got almost to the top. They had to turn around because of the fact that it was getting dark and it wasn't going to be safe. But they made it almost to the top of the hill. And Amy and I stayed at the bottom and just kind of watched them and took some pictures and stuff. Met a couple there that were from Washington. So that was pretty cool. So that was also fun. Let's see. Dave and I went up to Flagstaff, and then we went on a Grand Canyon tour. We went on a biblical creation tour. Learned so much. Our guide was amazing. If you're ever at the Grand Canyon and you want to take a tour where they're not telling you that the Grand Canyon came over billions of years or whatever, millions of years from a river, that is amazing because we have rivers all over the world and they don't carve out canyons like that. But for some reason, this 270-mile stretch of the Colorado River carved out this canyon, according to people. Above the canyon, it didn't carve anything out. Below the canyon, it didn't carve anything out. But for some reason, it carved this out. So it doesn't make sense. People don't tend to question it. They're just like, oh, okay. Anyways, got all the answers. It was amazing. I learned so much, and things make sense now, which is amazing. And yeah, learned things that I didn't know. So that was good. It was a 4 hour trip. 4 hour trip. It was probably a little longer than that. But I had another non-scale victory on that trip because it was really cold. And by the end of the trip, it was exceptionally cold. And our tour guide was great. He gave us these blankets, and it ended at the sunset. And so he gave us each a couple of blankets. We could put one down like on this wall. We went to a lookout point where we could watch the sunset. And everyone was too cold. I was the only one that actually went out there and looked at the sunset. And I put the blanket down, folded it up real nice and thick, and put it down on the wall, sat on the wall, put it around me. I had my gloves, I had my scarf and my hat and everything. I was freezing, but tolerating it. And I was able to sit there and watch the sunset, and I actually filmed it. It was beautiful. It was just so peaceful. And I was just appreciating it and so grateful that I was able to be there and experience just the incredible beauty of the Grand Canyon, the sunset on the other side of the canyon. And just so grateful for my functional body that I was able to tolerate that. Even though it was really cold, I was able to handle it, and just feeling such a sense of gratitude for everything that God's done for me over the past almost 2 years now, just with healing my body and giving me the results that I've had. And of course, it's the carnivore diet, but and I do give God credit, because without strength that I've received from God, I don't think I could have done this, because it is not always easy for people. Initially, it's harder. It does get easy, and now it's easy, but to actually have the strength and to get through that initial transition period, and sometimes for some people it can take quite a few months. I'm just so grateful, because my life, looking back, is like, you can't even compare what it is now versus what it was then. I was housebound. I was totally disabled. I was in constant pain. I was constantly reacting to things, and nothing in my body worked. And so it was incredibly grateful. And then so when I was done and I came back to the shuttle where everyone else was staying warm, the guide mentioned, wow, you're the brave one. You're the one that the only one of us that did this. And so when the tour was over, we were the only ones left. He took us all back right to our cars. And I said, I want to share with you why I'm so brave. And I was able to share with him about what I've been doing. And I showed him my before pictures, shared with him about the carnivore diet. And it was so amazing, because he actually put his hand on my shoulder and he prayed over me. And I'm going to get really emotional, because it was so touching. And it was like, that was so amazing that he would do that. What an amazing tour guide. And his name was Bob. Previously, he was in charge of all. He was a highway patrol officer. He was retired. And he was in charge of all of Arizona. I think northern Arizona as far as the highway patrol goes. But what an amazing man. And it was just so touching to have him do that, and to stop and do that for me. So, okay, I gotta stop crying. Okay. I hate crying on camera. But anyways, we went to Lake Havasu City after that. There's the original London bridges there. Did a lot of upstairs. And I did get a little winded with the multiple stairs there, but again, not afraid of them. And that was a huge non-scale victory, because I would have been afraid in the past. I would have looked at the stairs going down and the hills and pathways going down, and I would have said, no, there's no way I can do this. And I didn't even flinch this time. And as I was going back up and I could see, okay, I'm getting out of breath, I embraced it this time. And before I would have been, nervous I was going to pass out. I was not going to be able to make it. And this time I embraced it and I just said, this is good for me. This is good for my lungs. It's good for my heart. And I did it. So that was probably the hike back up from the river where the London Bridge is, at the base of London Bridge, up to the parking lot way up there that we parked at. That was probably the hardest hike I had, because there was a lot of climbing on that. But anyways, did great. We ended up back in Scottsdale for the last couple of days and just had a relaxing time. And the flight back was great. And so been busy trying to get caught up. Kind of neglected my channel, did a couple of lives, but kind of neglected my channel while we were traveling. So hoping to get all caught up. We did do some geocaching, got quite a few geocaches while we were out there. Introduced geocaching to Kerry, and he said he loved it. He's hooked. He's going to start doing it with Jen and his girls. So that's good. So hopefully as we do these meetups, we can always go and grab some geocaches at all the locations that we're at. It is so much fun, and it's great exercise, and it's a great way to explore. So let's get on to my results for this week. Actually, it's been for the last 3 weeks. Now, I did not take my usual picture of, I usually take a picture of what I'm showing you. So let me just pull up my app instead so I can go through my numbers. Alrighty. So I did gain a little bit of weight, and not much. I weighed in this morning at 229.8. Now, I kind of wish I had weighed in the morning after we got home, which was last Thursday, so I could see how much of this is actual travel weight versus how much has it been since I got home. Because I did do a lot of walking while I was there, so I don't know if this weight is from the trip or if it's since we got home. I did eat a lot on the trip, and I have to be completely honest, I ate lots of cheese. I just kind of let caution fly to the wind, and I did heavy whipping cream, I did dairy, it was all carnivore that I ate, but I ate pretty much whatever I wanted. And dairy is kind of my cheat. If I decide I'm gonna do a cheat, dairy is my cheat. So I ate plenty of cheese. So considering that, it could be worse. So the scale has me up 1.6 pounds from the last time I weighed in, which was December 30th of 2024. I did gain a little bit in my fat-free body weight. So my overall fat gain is 1.4 pounds. So not quite the 1.6 pounds of the scale. I gained 0.2 of muscle. I gained 0.2 of bone. And so my fluid for the period is down by 0.2. So overall, and I wanted to point out, because I gained a tad of weight, my visceral fat went from 16 back up to 17. I was right on that border where the visceral fat came down to 16. So I anticipate that it's not going to take me very long to get back to 16. And I'm thinking of possibly doing some fasting to see if I can finally break through this little plateau that I just seem to really struggle with. I know the last few weeks was an anomaly, so we'll see how things go, but I know that fasting is really good, and I'm kind of on the edge of trying to figure out, should I try some fasting or not? Or should I just keep continuing with just trying to eat more? Because I know my calorie intake was really bad. I tend to restrict it. I do restrictive eating just habitually from decades of restricting. And so eating a lot, I think, has been good for me. I am feeling good. So I'm kind of on the fence about which way to go. Fast or keep eating more. I don't know. It's not like I'm complaining, because my weight is still so much better than it was. And if I have to hang out here for a while, it's okay. But I have been hanging out here for a while, so I'm getting kind of tired of it, to be honest. Okay, but overall, everything is amazing. So my overall scale weight is down 109.8 pounds, so just shy of 110. I have gained 27 pounds of good tissue, which is 25.6 pounds of muscle, 1.8 pounds of bone. So overall, my fluid is down by 0.4. So my total fat loss since the beginning, which was at the end of May 2023, is 136.8 pounds, which is a healthy weight female. So was carrying a whole normal sized woman on my back. It is gone, which is why I feel so good. I know I feel so good because I don't have to carry that around anymore. I'm assuming I still have about 50 pounds to go with my weight loss, and it will come off. This is a lifelong thing for me. So the phase I'm in right now, where I'm in a plateau, it is what it is. I'm not going to have a lack of gratitude for everything that I've lost to this point, and I know that as time goes on, I will lose the rest, or my body will settle where it wants to settle. I'm so functional now. I just can't even say. I'm so functional. So I'm happy with where things are at. Now, yesterday we had a great Washington local meetup with Rose, Coach Rose, AJ, Carnivore Girl for Life. I got to meet Anthony. He has been, Anthony Hayduck. He is fighting cancer. He's doing so well. And he was interviewed recently by Kerry on Homestead How. He is our local Washington resident, and he came over on the ferry from the peninsula and joined us at Foco de Chao for a meetup. We had 6 of us. It was just a small meetup, but it was so nice. It was wonderful to meet him. He is so inspirational. If you don't know him, check him out. I got to figure out his channel, but I'm going to link to his channel. He is really motivated and really wanting to help people who are fighting cancer. He has got the biggest kick butt attitude. He's like, I am beating this thing. And yeah, he's super inspirational. So I believe that he is going to be invited to speak at our Washington meetup for Healing Humanity on June 7th. So if you are in the Washington area, be keeping an eye out. healinghumanity.movie. We have an events page, and that event will end up getting posted there, so keep your eye out for that. So, okay, I have gone on and on. This is long enough as it is right now, and I know that today was also the inauguration of our new president, so I'm very happy, to be honest, and I'm very hopeful for the next 4 years. And I don't have any qualms about anybody, regardless of what your politics are, and I try not to get into politics, but I have to say I am looking forward to changes over the next 4 years. I consider myself on the conservative side, but I maybe a little bit kind of closer to moderate. I care about people, of course. I want people to be cared for. I care about our military. I care about our veterans. I care about the people who are hurting, of course, but I do also care about a lot of the other things that the Republican Party stands for. So I'm very hopeful, and I listen to the speeches, and I'm incredibly hopeful for the next 4 years, and hope that a lot of the promises that have been made will be kept, and that we can move forward as a country. And hopefully our economy will be good. Hopefully our border will be secure. Hopefully wars will end. I'm for peace. I'm a peacemaker. So I want wars to end and crime to be at a minimal, if it's not zero. And support our economy, support our local businesses, support our military. So anyways, I was very touched by today's inauguration, and hoping that all will be well over the next 4 years. And if you didn't vote, for Trump, then, hopefully you'll be optimistic, and, we survive whatever president is in office. It goes back and forth, and, no matter who you vote for, I have never been one to say this person is not my president. I know there's people who say that. But I've always been very patriotic, and I was raised in an era where we respected the office of president. And so I've never been one to say this person is not my president. I can disagree with them. I do always believe that people start out in politics with good intentions and good motives and unfortunately get corrupted. And I'm not saying that anybody is perfect, and I think anybody can be corrupted. But anyways, I wish Biden the best. I hope his health will improve now that he's not under the stress of being president. And yeah, so that's it for today. I hope everyone's having an absolutely wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.